Good evening. Good evening, sir.
How you doing?
Yeah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, I can't complain. How's life on TikTok?
It's okay. I've settled down a little bit. I'm not posting as regularly as I was for the
What
last...
happened?
I'm just fresh out of ideas. I was posting it lasted 4 months. I'll get back to it. Don't worry.
Yeah?
You can't
Can't keep up
you
the
can't
A
be,
game.
Yeah, sprinting at that pace for a year. So I'm taking like a slight break.
You know what?
I heard you
Yeah,
got
look, we can get
suspended.
it. Like, I am a boomer. Like, we can get over this. But, like, I
you
tried TikTok out the other day. It's really fun.
It's pretty addictive.
Dude, what you were saying just resonated with me. Like, as soon as you explained it as just like, this is just moving memes, I get it now. It's not, you don't
can't
have to
unhear that,
mime to
can you?
music.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
That's awesome. That's good for them. I'm
Yeah.
really glad they invented that.
It's the middle ground between picture memes and YouTube.
Yeah. And also, you know what? This is a big call, but I'm calling it now. I'm done with minute-long TikToks. Can't handle it. My attention span is
Too
just
long?
too long. Just get to the meat of it.
Yeah.
You can do it in 15 seconds.
Yeah, they do tend to drag on a little bit. Hey?
Don't you think? Like,
Yeah.
it's real. Oh, man, it's such a weird thing going back to that thing of, like, 2010 YouTube or whatever, of just being like, what, a video longer than 2 minutes? Absurd.
Yeah. Well, now it's a video longer than 15 seconds, which is insane
Yeah.
when you think about it.
But, like, I think it's exactly what you said. It's just like,
People are very generous with their likes. I'll give them that much. The ratios are quite good.
they're very friendly.
Yeah, 20% is an average ratio.
What a community.
Yeah.
Well, that's very nice to know that it's a come one, come all place. I think it's look, it really weeds out anything remotely nefarious. Like I put up a gun that was like an umbrella, banned.
Yeah, you're gone. Yeah. Anything that remotely resembles a gun, you're out. Any
Right.
drug references. And then if they just don't like you, I think they'll just suspend you.
Really?
I have that feeling. Because it's so many videos that I've hardly done anything, and then they say, no, we didn't like that video.
What? Okay, so basically, just the czars in China were just like, I didn't think that was funny, and that's the end of that.
Probably. I don't know how it works.
Not a fan.
A very loose sexual reference will get you... Some of the videos they don't take down, they just mute the video. So I don't know what they're trying to do there. But it's an enigma. It's still got such a good algorithm right now that you can't stay off it. So it's worth being on it. But I think we need to address something first. So a couple of weeks ago on one of the podcasts, I spoke about how I very stupidly drove without a registered car.
And that was
my car was unregistered.
inexcusable.
And it was a pretty dumb thing to do,
Yep.
let's be honest. And you'd think someone hearing that would probably then maybe just double check in their mind, just want to be sure my car's registered.
No, I don't know about that. These things slip your mind, you know.
But apparently you didn't do that. And you made the exact same mistake I did after I've...
That's so much worse
I've
as well.
told my cautionary tale, but not enough for you. So please tell us.
Shamed you for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. So that's karma.
Well, there's no other way of putting it.
Yeah,
Hey,
please.
you know what? Justice served.
Yeah, please tell us what exactly went down.
You know what it was? It was just a cop that, dude, if there's one thing that I can tell you when looking at her, it's just like, that woman hates her life. You know? That crowy face, in mid-50s, no partner. Well, that's always someone that's going to be a barrel of laughs, aren't they? No other cop wants to hang out with them. And she just, like, pulled me up after 5 months of being unreal. 5 months.
Wow, you topped me. So
I'm sorry.
Did you just not even think about, when I told my story, you didn't...
No, I was just like, you're a disgrace. Thankfully, some of us honest citizens are actually paid up and pay attention to the rules.
And is this just your
Yeah.
car, or was this your girlfriend's car?
No, this is my car.
This is your car.
Yeah. Dude, I'm like, okay. I'm pretty ashamed of myself.
Well, that's karma for you.
I mean, look, dude.
What's the Justin Timberlake song? What goes around comes around.
And it did.
That has definitely come around for you.
Look, the thing is as well, what happened to you? Let's just go through the recap again.
So
did you get your license plates taken off?
Yep.
Yeah. Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I had to get a new re-register the car.
Yep.
And redo my CTP. And there was just the 2 fines for driving without driving an unregistered vehicle and driving without CTP.
Yep. See, this is the whole thing.
About $700 each.
Yeah, that is the standard fine.
Did you have CTP? Well, you can't get your CTP.
Yeah, I know you can't have your CTP, but this is the absurdity of it, and this is why. You know what? Afterwards, actually, because she said you have to get your car. I know this is like the most boring conversation ever, but you know what? We're doing it anyway. Just strap yourselves in.
Look,
don't put this on screen too. Pay close attention to this. You'll learn something.
If any listener were to now drive an unregistered vehicle, that would essentially be unforgivable. They probably should be executed because you've had
you thrice
2 stories now of. You should definitely heed that warning because.
Oh yeah, look, it's look. I think that they're like now that they're doing this. I've just really it must be a conspiracy because everybody that I've talked to now has had this exact scenario. It's
really?
just because they moved away from letters. So it's just like in your emails, and you're just like, yeah, all this junk from like Trivia Go and shit. You're just like, bleh. Because it just like sounds like RMish or something like that. So I think that's a big thing. It's just a massive revenue collecting scam. But, dude, like my one, I look, she gave me 3 fines.
It's how they're going to balance the budget.
Yeah, and if anything's going to be doing it, it's that.
Yeah.
3 fines. One of them was the
3?
CTP. Yeah, and the CTP, I fully understand.
Yes, unregistered.
It was unregistered, but they said they also gave me a fine for, it's not without a license. I mean, sorry, it's uninsured. I looked back at it; it was insured. So,
wait, but if you isn't the CTP, how can they double up with that by saying it's uninsured and you don't?
Oh
have
no,
CTP?
sorry. The greens. Jesus, so technical. The green slip I didn't have, so it was unregistered, but it was insured. So they fine me for 2 things.
Isn't a green slip CTP, or are they different?
I don't know what it is. I just look the registered thing that you get from the. I just didn't do that. I just signed it back to Amy and was like, well, everything probably is in order on my end, and then I just forgot about it, obviously. But that one I did.
Well, we suck, don't we?
Dude, and so good. There's just like so many of these pods are just like advice on being a man.
Yeah,
from
we're
Neel
dishing
and
out
Jordan.
so much advice for young men, and we just can't do this basic, simple activity.
There's nothing less manly than that. Like that's
not getting
bare minimum of being a man.
Actually, I don't know. Driving an unregistered vehicle could be seen as quite a bad boy move.
If you're a fugitive. If you're us and otherwise you're just like us, just being like, I thought it was registered, sorry. Like, there's nothing cool about that.
It's just stupid. If we had done it on purpose, it'd be cool. But no, we're just idiots.
No, it's true.
We've got too many other things on our mind. So
no, but dude, you know what? And you hear this a lot with comics as well. It's just because you're always just thinking of new ideas, just like basic life skills, showers. Registering a car out the door.
Yeah, I found that. Do you think with successful, not just artists, but anyone who's really successful? I'm not putting us in the realm of some of the huge businessmen out there or businesswomen, but do you think if you're hyper focused on one particular thing, whatever your area of expertise is, you're just not that good at basic areas of life, like driving, cooking. Just fundamental relationship duties, things like that.
Yeah.
And I think there's this perception where a lot of people say, oh, that person's so successful, I really want to date them. Then they end up dating them and realize, wow, this person's just like
you may as well not be dating them. Yeah, that's true as well.
They're incredibly good at one particular skill, but they're just absolute rubbish at everything else. Like, I'm pretty confident. I can perform to 1,500 people at the Enmore Theatre, and and give them a really good show, but like I'm really shit at reverse parking. Like just because you're really good at one thing doesn't mean you're just good at everything, you know?
No.
And ultimately, when you're with a girlfriend, what's going to impress her more? Like just every day being shit at reverse parking, or
She has to live with that every day.
Yeah, once a year, putting on a really good show.
Yeah. And on top of that, she would have seen the show in all of its incremental stages, and then the final show just being like, I can't tell the difference anymore.
Exactly. Don't date hyper successful people. Date people who are just like doctors and lawyers. Well, maybe not
Doctors
lawyers.
too successful. And same with lawyers.
Well, that's what I
Unless
mean.
they're
They're
in,
not
like,
like
family law.
hyper successful. They've got a really stable, good profession. They're probably making a good salary, and they're probably very organized and conscientious, which means they're good at basic life duties. Unlike us,
Balanced approach.
we're just like,
Yep.
we can't do those things.
There's two strategies in life, isn't there? There's master of one or jack of all trades.
That's exactly it.
You're so right. Just to get into that, I think it's just a thing of like if you're in comedy, because there's just so much competition, you really have to excel in one niche. So you do just have to do that. That's what happens to me, because like, dude, you know what I've realized? Everything in my life is inconvenient now. Unless it's like writing scripts. Everything else, it's just like, you have to eat now. Oh, for fuck's sake.
I find that too, man, yeah. Well, it's taken away from what I perceive myself as being the best at.
Yeah, exactly. So
if I can't do that, why should I be eating? Why should I be having a shower? It's taken away from my time to actually write jokes, which is what I'm excelling at.
Would you, if you had the opportunity to swallow some kind of shot putty kind of pudge, I guess, and then you never had to eat again, would you take it? Because I would do that in a flash.
Can you still, if you wanted to, enjoy a meal?
No, that's the trade-off. There has to be. It can't just look. You can't have the best of both worlds here, Neel. Like it's one or the other.
I don't know. I'd have to think about that because I do.
Do you reckon?
Notice how I didn't say eating. I said having to take a shit and showering, but.
Well, you enjoy that too.
I do enjoy eating, so I'm happy to keep doing that. If there was a pill where I never had to go to the toilet again, yeah, I mean, I don't know who wouldn't take that.
Yeah, I mean, that's so true, isn't it?
And not have to shower again.
It has to come out. What are you going to do? Just get really fat?
Who knows? There's a tube in hospitals. They have a tube, don't they?
Okay, so that's what you're aiming for. Is it just like one out the armpit? It's just another anus, dude.
Maybe, if you're sleeping, why not? Just while you sleep, it just puts it into some box and becomes compost. I don't know. Surely they could invent something like that.
No, I do like this thinking outside the box and like you're showing your natural green thumb at the same time.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, it's good for the environment as well.
Why can't I have this very convenient next to my bed rotting sewage? Because that is what that is what fertilizer is, right? It's just decomposing shit.
Basically, yeah. Food scraps. Yeah, I don't know what the difference between compost and fertilizer is. Well, compost is I think mainly food scraps and then they put something else in it to. I don't know. I'm not that much of a gardener.
No, compost is. You're right. No, there's nothing else in there.
Whereas fertilizer can be all sorts of things. You get blood and bone fertilizer at Bunnings. You get organic fertilizer. So I don't think there are too many consistent ingredients. It can just be all sorts of different things.
Just anything dying. That's it.
I think so. Yeah, anything that was once organic and living. You could just give it to another living thing.
That's your fertilizer.
Yeah, so in a weird way, plants they're eating other. I'm completely talking shit.
But
now.
it is sinister. No, you're right. You are right though. That is what's happening.
I'm pretty sure the fertilizer they you can get at Bunnings is like dead fish or something. I think. Well, there's one called Blood and Bone.
Oh yeah.
I mean, if it's Blood and Bone, I assume. It was once living. I don't know how else they're going to get that.
Fan of Gardening Australia, are you? That's the only reason I know that Blood and Bone exists. How do you... Is it just on the front shelf? Yeah, okay. So it's the first thing.
I think I do. Yeah, I've got some out there.
That a boy, Neel.
Of course.
I think that is... look, that guy with this accent like this and was on for 50 years, that guy wouldn't shut up about Blood and Bone. That was his liberal government in life, just like recommending to anyone who would listen, Blood and Bone is mad.
I wonder who invented that fertilizer. They would have had to have basically either killed something or just happened to find something, an animal or, I mean, even a human rotting in their garden and notice that the trees around that corpse were doing particularly well.
Man, if I had the memory and, fortuitousness to research that, I would.
Yeah,
But
and look, I'm sure we'll be
I'm just going to forget. But
corrected by some horticulturists out there. That's another thing. You know what I've been thinking about more? How you said that this podcast should be called Grasping at Straws. Mm-hmm. It really is that, isn't it?
yeah.
I don't know anything about fertilizer. And apparently... I don't know anything. And apparently all the things that I thought I knew that I had at least some rudimentary knowledge about, I'm wrong about that as well. So in a podcast 2 or 3 weeks ago, I was talking about how wogs don't watch anime. And I just I imagined some jacked up wog who goes to the Ivy and is obsessed with getting jacked and getting chicks.
Well, let's be honest, that is them.
But apparently they actually love anime.
Who was saying this? One?
My friend, but he said that all the wogs he knows love anime, and they're the most stereotypical as well.
But, all right. Weeb anime or just Dragon Ball Z?
I'm pretty sure full-on weeb anime.
Okay, so that shit that's just like, like you're reading the translations and you're thinking, no, that doesn't match up with what's happening in this scene.
I don't.
Like
Well,
that
I don't watch anime.
You're so out of the weeb world.
I'm completely out of it. That's one area.
I don't know how you escaped
Can you call
that.
it pop culture? I don't even know. But whatever it is, I just never got into it.
Uh-huh.
But a few of my friends did.
See, this is the thing. This is what happens to me as well when it comes to that. Is like I've got 2 weebs in my life, and they are a vortex. They will suck you into their universe. And just look, thank God it hasn't been One Piece yet, because that's the equivalent of kids just like doing World of Warcraft when they were like in year 12, and now they're drug dealers. They've got like nothing else going for.
What a transition.
Surely that happened at your school. Definitely.
What? The
Just this thing of just being like, yeah, in a sec. Oh, fuck, I got a mystery mark. Oh, well, there's always Coke. And then just like going back into it.
Well, it's selective school, so look,
Yeah.
people don't get mystery marks at our high school.
See, this is what I thought happened. As soon as these ultra addictive, never-ending expansion games came in, I thought that all the nerds just shifted their intelligence into just getting like a level 3 Excalibur sword instead of like maths.
That's true. That's true. But to the extent where they got a mystery mark, I wouldn't know.
Right.
Look, a lot of people did play those games. I actually, I never did. I wasn't exactly the sporty type either, but I wasn't really. I played some PS2 and PS3, but I was never a strict gamer. I was never a PC gamer. That's when you know you're serious.
Yep.
When you've got the custom built PC
that changes colours.
That's like a very special gaming mouse, and they were obsessed.
Yeah.
Yeah, they go on just like 3-day benders, but it would be like a WoW bender. God.
Are they proud of their lives?
At the time they were. At the time of doing that, they were.
Yeah.
But
now they don't have a girlfriend or a job.
look, no. Thankfully, well, the one guy I'm thinking of, he's definitely turned it around.
The success story.
Yeah, he's managed to get out of the addiction cycle.
And it is. That's so, especially when you go to Asian countries where there is no drugs. That's the only drug available. And then you realise, holy shit.
Damn.
StarCraft is heroin.
And how did I... Because I feel like I'd be the prime target for one of those video games. You know, I'm on the nerdy side, not particularly sporty when I was a kid. Usually they're like somewhat smart to be good at those games. I mean...
Were you good at maths? You were, weren't you?
Yeah, I was really good at maths.
That's another
So,
giveaway.
good that I escaped that addiction hole.
Yeah, and you went to a selective school.
Yeah.
There's nothing... I don't know the answer. You should. Dude, you missed your dharma in life. That's what you should be doing right now, is just being like...
Do I need to make up for
really
lost
obese.
time?
Yes.
Yeah.
I think that's what it is,
Grow
man.
a neck beard and...
Yeah, well, you're almost there. Just let this shit loose and then...
Well, I've got the opposite. I've shaved the neck beard portion off.
Yeah.
But I've
stop
left
that.
the normal beard.
Yeah. No, you
Okay.
stop going to the gym. You have no more protein shakes. It's just exclusively Mountain Dew with the energy burst in it. And you get to work. I'm sick of this, like,
And this
having
will
normal interests in life. shit.
Eventually become an MRA podcast.
Yeah.
If it isn't that already.
Yeah. Yeah. Me talking about pussy every now and then just gets you pissed off. I get kicked off. It just becomes one microphone, a fat man, and he's in a demons, slaying it away.
There's a big market for that. I'm sure.
Yeah.
Quite literally, a very big market.
I know.
We've really extended the banter portion of this podcast. I mean, I think it's just becoming the main part of the podcast.
Does it have to end? Dude.
It doesn't.
Fat loser neckbeards. Gold. Just God's people. Anyway, yeah, sorry, we should probably talk about something of substance.
We'll talk about something, yeah. Something serious.
What did you want to talk about?
You know what? I wanted to talk about nicknames.
Damn, not bad.
But I want to talk about it in the context of well, it's very similar to the topics we always talk about on this podcast: identity, the culture wars, politics, things like that. But how effective don't you think? Well, one, in a very Trumpian way, the way he can just come up with nicknames like Crooked Hillary and Sleepy Joe, that beats any substantive political argument, hands down.
Yeah.
Because it's so effective. You can't, there's no like rational way to argue against a moniker like Crooked Hillary. Because the more you would say, no, I'm not crooked. See, that's something a crooked person would say.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking about just the term social justice warrior. So I don't know how that originated. Do you know how that term originated?
No, I'm sure it's some know you
in
meme.
In Reddit somewhere or something like that.
Let's be honest, it's 4chan.
Yeah.
One
of those cesspools.
Not the deep web, but that like twilight zone of the ocean where like giant squids reside, from one of those forums.
Yeah, that's exactly it. Somewhere out in the deep, like the Mariana Trench of the internet. Yeah. I genuinely think that term changed the. This is a bold statement, but I think that term genuinely changed the course of humanity. Because it is so prominent in the culturescape and it was so prominent in discourse and effective to the point where it genuinely at least influenced the direction of culture in the Western world. Because it was that effective.
It is a big call.
It's a very big call. I know that. I really think that the term social justice warrior changed the course of humanity. That's what I'm saying.
Look, I don't think you're entirely wrong on it. I'm just saying that, look, the petri dish that it grew in was
bound
rife.
to happen. Yes, it was. I guess, yeah, it was bound to happen in some form anyway, whether it was specifically that term.
But
there was always going to be a pushback against that culture.
But if they didn't come up with such a poignant... Because you know what social justice, the genius of social justice warrior as an insult is because it just employs sarcasm so effectively. Like, if you're saying you're racist or something like that, that's not necessarily a factual statement, but it's erring on the side of factual. Yes. Social justice warrior, you're kind of using language that they should like against them.
Yeah.
So there's always just this slight undertone jab that softens the impact of it and therefore makes it work a lot easier.
It's so effective.
It's effective. And
it's
as
like,
you said...
this guy, social justice warrior here. I mean...
That's what happens.
You can't fight against that because,
No.
I mean, I am a social justice warrior, but you're making fun of that. I'm just thinking about it in the context of, millions of people who otherwise would have had typical social justice warrior views may have at least, those views would have been minimized or mitigated to a certain extent because they were told that they were a social justice warrior, or they didn't want to be boxed in as this simplistic idiot who can't think critically. So that's what I mean. And then on a mass scale, if that affected millions of people, which it would have, that's what I mean by it has changed the course of okay, maybe we won't say humanity, but it definitely changed the direction of culture. It's not really what sort of culture that is, I suppose. That's
well, that's culture.
It is. Yeah, there's no real...
Because the thing that was big about it was an internet invention, and it's one of the few examples of something that is mainstream on the net. Because usually what the net goes for is like it's a counterculture, but it was also, the other thing is like, it's kind of the death of counterculture, because usually they'd kind of just be like, The Simpsons would be an example of it, I guess, is just that there's like your mainstream culture of like 90210 or whatever, and then you have the Simpsons sort of feeding off that.
Yeah.
But now, because there's just so many different avenues, there's no such thing as really as a counterculture or even a culture, because it's all just kind of too messy now and too different. But this kind of like
new counterculture. It was another formation of counterculture.
It was another formation of counterculture in an age where it's like it's hard to do that.
And think about all the terms that are now in the consciousness. So, I mean, I don't know how long greenie and lefty, I'm sure they've been used for a long time, but they've become more prominent in the last few years. Right-winger, that ends the argument for some people when it doesn't actually mean anything. Yet for a lot of people, right-winger. Okay,
dude,
all these terms are actually, they're incredibly effective.
I don't think they're effective.
They're effective for a certain
subculture.
For a subculture to coalesce around their identity and continually they're othering everyone else.
No,
but just these anyway. I'm also just talking about nicknames in a broader sense. They're so effective. These kind of very easy put downs, ways to just generalize about your enemies, whoever they may be. If you can just because in almost all cases, it's likely that there'd be a lot of diversity among the group that you could call, all social justice warriors obviously don't think alike. All lefties aren't going to think alike. But by just defining them with that one word, it's so effective.
Right on.
Yeah.
But, this is the thing though, social justice warrior, it created sort of a broad coalition that people could go behind. And man, I don't think it's just a nickname. Like, it has to be an effective nickname. An effective nickname is effective. Let's put it that way.
Yes.
Like something like right winger or something like that. Yeah, within this tiny little Twitter bubble, that'll work. But like,
I don't know. I think it's a pretty. If you talk to a lot of people our age, they'll just dismiss certain comedians, certain media figures, oh yeah, but he's right wing. Well, what does that mean? Do you have? I think I've talked about this on other podcasts, but that you haven't won the argument if you've just said someone's right wing. In the same way, oh yeah, but he's a lefty. Like, you haven't won any argument there. But what I'm saying is they're just such effective tools because then...
Well, yeah, they're kind of just a label.
Yeah.
They're not even a nickname, really. I mean, I suppose social justice warrior kind of just like burdens, it kind of like teeters on the edge. But like something like Trump with crooked Hillary or something like that.
Yeah, they're reason different. Yes.
That's definitely one. But like the reason that works so well is because it highlights something that people suspected about her anyway and puts it to the forefront of their mind. So it's always the same thing at play, right? Like, you really have to be able to tap into the zeitgeist, or maybe it just organically raises. The thing is, Trump was just genius at...
It's very effective marketing, really, because it's like a very quick word association that people do in their minds, and whether it's even conscious or not, you're always then associating the word crooked with Hillary. Even if you don't believe it, eventually, it's like what we talk about with affirmations. If you just keep saying something, you believe it. So it's the same
But the
premise.
belief was already there. That's the thing.
Well, yeah,
it was underlying. So he's what he's really done is just tapped in. You know what it is? It's just like thinking about all the negative traits. This is an effective nickname if you like. It depends if you want to prop someone up or like bring them down. But let's just talk about bringing them down because it's more fun.
It is.
Yeah, you just think of all of the things that you don't like about that person. I'm guessing what you do then is just figure out what do you think is the most universal. Like, Trump kind of had his like little focus groups or whatever. In fact, he used to do it out on, you know, like his stadium tours or whatever in front of 50,000 people and just be like, what should I call it, Lane Hillary or Crooked Hillary? And then just see what the cheer was. And crooked works.
Wow. Yeah.
Crooked, like, you just think it when you look at it.
Sleepy Joe, it's just so effective.
It works for him.
It's so, you can't, like, there's no discussion to have about that.
No, it's just kind of like,
Hey,
sleepy.
I'm not sleepy. Like, you just seem petty then if you're arguing against that.
And even if you're just like, I'm just going to rise you above that, like, no one cares because no one's rising.
Yeah.
No one's on your like, high pedestal.
Yeah, forever. That's ingrained in the listeners' minds. And then I want to go a step further and say, if we, whether it's this podcast, I want to try on this podcast, but in any future podcast, if we can come up with a term that is that becomes pervasive in discourse within the next few months, I'll be pretty proud of us.
Pretty stoked.
Yeah,
okay,
I want to try to do that.
If you like change culture.
Yeah. Well, yeah, pretty much. Yeah. So I want to try to do that.
All right. Well, that's actually
put our
challenge accepted.
Marketing hats on. What's a group of people that is just coming into our consciousness that we dislike, that may not be entirely homogenous, but there's a way to label them all as something that's extremely derogatory and powerful and effective.
I'm throwing my hat in there for Reddit. Really not a fan of people on Reddit.
Okay, that's a bit niche though. I mean, there's a lot of. I'm probably not with you. I don't
I'm
really
not
know.
with you on that one.
I don't go on Reddit, so.
No, join my crusade. All right,
yeah,
why
do you hate? You hate Reddit.
I fucking hate it, dude.
Why do you hate it so much?
Because it's just like the purest form of an echo chamber. It's just like idiots that are describing themselves to something and just like reaffirming the same dumb opinions over and over again. And you know what happens after a while? It gets dumber and dumber and dumber. And you come in with a fresh pair of eyes and you're like, who are these freaks? But because they've been there on the entire journey of dumbness, they're that stupid now.
So they're trying to outdo each other and just get more and more.
That's
it.
Like
it's
always
further to the extreme.
It's always the purity thing, and then like the people that are there, they kind of like they're just always trying to outcompete for like who's the most in that bubble, and so they're always every time it doesn't matter what it is. It's like if it's like starter pack meme reviews to like, you know, I don't know, US politics, whatever, anything like that. It'll be the same thing every time. Just
There's
this
no debate on there.
intellectual race to the bottom.
So that people aren't debating each other. They're just...
But like, dude, this is what happens. Like, you can't debate in those circles, right? Because if you come in and you're challenging orthodoxy instantly, it's just like Catholic Church in the 1100s, you know?
Would there be a subreddit that is, the opposing viewpoint to another particular subreddit?
That definitely exists, but the whole point is like it's just like those guys don't cross.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
So there's
no middle ground.
So anyway, sorry, that's like my big crusade in life now is just like, and it's the thing that we're always talking about as well. I hate people giving themselves these shitty, unimpressive, niche identities. It really fucking irks me. It's just the height of narcissism and ego. But anyway, let's think of something a little
then
more.
you could, I mean...
Drivers, I don't know.
Drivers. You could just say, I don't know, maybe the word Puritan, just that not only applies to the people on Reddit, but anyone who's in an echo chamber similar to that. That's
pretty good.
But that word has existed for centuries. What I was thinking, something that I guess would relate to us a little bit is people, well, first of all, not even just comedians, but media personalities, anyone who just still refuses to acknowledge the magnitude of the internet and is still in a mainstream media bubble.
And I can get on board with that.
Especially the comedians. If there was a term, I mean, boomer is...
No,
doesn't,
not
because
specific
there
enough.
are people in their 30s who still think that the ultimate is, you know, getting a job at Channel 9 or something like that.
Dude, in their 20s.
Well, there you go. So if there was some, I would love to come up with a moniker for them, because I would even say that the term influencer is very vague because it can have very positive connotations to it, but it can also have it can also be used in a patronizing way if journalists say, and this person is a influencer. So if there's just some, I like the term blue check mark. You've heard that one? That's one to just to define, for anyone who doesn't know, that just is a label for the journalists on Twitter who are clearly unable to think critically.
But that also encompasses people from, well, now defunct BuzzFeed or 10 Daily, and
all of that.
They are online platforms as well. They're journalists who ascribe to journalist orthodoxy. That is a blue check, and so it doesn't matter if they're in new or old media.
So blue check is a good, but I feel like that's very specific for just journalists, whereas I'm talking broadly about even don't necessarily even have to be in the media, just people who still look at mainstream TV and mainstream entertainment and think that is the pinnacle of success. So if there was some sort of
what about paleontologists? Because they're just like they're going into dinosaur media. And they're just like I don't mind that, but like
it's not bad. It doesn't have a ring. It doesn't have a ring to it, but I like that line of thinking. Yeah, archaeologists, paleontologists, historians. If there was something just snappy, if there was just a. I'm just thinking out loud, like, I don't know, my mind just went to Indiana Jones.
Yeah, something like that.
Sort of, because that's what they're doing. They're living in the past.
Wait, is Dora the Explorer... Oh, she's an explorer. It's just self-evident in the title.
She was a paleontologist. I'm pretty sure she's a kid.
I don't know. But I do, I actually do like the that... And also, okay, so let's just go through the traits of them.
Holding on to something that doesn't have the same power it used to.
That's one.
So that, I guess that would be equivalent to maybe if there was what was like an empire that's collapsed, and if people were still like, yes, this is still like the powerful
That's Rome, for sure. Like, that
Yeah.
just echoed through the ages. The British Empire based itself off that, the Americans. So they would be like Caesars. Dude, that is actually a derogatory nickname. Holy shit, czars.
Czars?
And they do say that, like media czars. Like, czar was the Russian word for emperor, and it was from the Roman word Caesar. And now you see this all the time, like price czars, energy czars. It's just like somebody who's kind of just like a technocrat, I suppose. But actually, yeah,
I'd love like some sort of nickname that just makes people, as soon as they hear it, they're like, that's funny, but that's also true.
Yeah, so they're holding on.
Paleontologist is just. I mean, it's just there's like that's funny. I like
paleo. Dude, what about that? They're on the paleo diet, and that just means that they're like they exclusively want to make it in the mainstream.
Mummies?
Why?
Because they're relic of the past.
Mummies? Oh, right, yeah. I thought you were thinking about like
mummy journalists.
Damn, and that's true, yeah. Yummy mummies, but spelled MUMMEIS. IES.
So a comedian who just still tries to get on the talk shows and things could be a mummy comedian.
Mummies.
We can ponder that for a little bit longer.
Is
there any other group that we would both also have a mutual dislike for that we would enjoy coming up with a derogatory label for them? I would love to. Look, if in 5 years, maybe not, it probably wouldn't reach the pinnacle, the heights of social justice warrior, but if it can be like I don't know, like NPC, that was a pretty big nickname. If we can come up with something like that permeates through the internet to that extent, I would feel quite proud.
Yeah, look,
NPC is a good
worked.
one. That was a good one.
That was, dude, you know what? NPC is way better than Social Justice Warrior.
It is actually.
It had way shorter shelf life. But it's
the more you think about it, the funnier.
It's a funny idea.
That face with just the nose.
But also, dude, just the thing that they have like a pre-programmed like 2 or 3 things they say, and that's it.
Yes, yes.
Something about legacy. Enamored by old prestige,
and they're all clones because they're all just this. They're all think and talk exactly the same way. Yeah, holding on to the past. So there's all these attributes. Still I like paleontologists, but it wouldn't work on I can't imagine it. Working in the context of like a blog or Twitter or anything like that.
Yeah, it has to be like a abbreviation, if anything.
Artifacts. Fossils.
And there's also like another element to them of like delusion.
Yeah.
That's the other thing as well, of just being like, it's not just this thing of like chasing a legacy thing, but also just well, actually it stems from the same thing. It is just delusion.
Holding on to a dream that was only relevant 50 years ago.
Well, not that far, but yeah.
30 years ago.
No, dude, like 5 years ago. Not 5. Okay. Let's settle on an easy 15.
Because the internet came about 10 years ago. The internet was pretty.
That's true, but like, dude, in 2010, if like Channel 10 was just like, hey, you've got your own talk show.
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Like, dude, you know what happened the other day? It wasn't the other day. It was like 6 months ago. But anyway, like Channel 10, it just says so much about the time we're in now. Channel 10 approached me to be in some reality show idea that they had like a pilot idea or something for.
Yeah.
And dude, you know what my first thought was? of just being like, oh yeah, like this is legitimately how my brain went. Oh yeah, that could be a pretty good collab. I thought of like, dude, Channel 10 is just another Instagram account to me now. That's all it is.
That is, it's just a cashed up Instagram account, hey.
And not even really,
Not anymore. No.
like, dude, I swear there must be
Can you say what the pilot was? Are you at liberty to?
I can't even remember now. Like it was something along the lines of like, my best friend's an influencer or something like that, and it was just like people that have housemates.
It could work, but well, what would work about it is you're just reaching a completely new audience.
See, that's all I'm thinking though.
So that would be effective.
But see, dude, don't
you'd be put on the sort of influences that. That's why that term is also so frustrating for me, because it just assumes that we're all in this one group, and as though like what we do is it's even in the same realm of what like a girl who posts photos of her fucking ass does. She's obviously a lot smarter than us. Like
way
we can't
smarter.
compete. But that term puts us all in the same group, which is
not fair.
It's but it's effective, and that's why I want to come up with But
the thing is, it's not as you were saying, it's not it could be intentionally derogatory, but it's not exclusively derogatory.
True. I'm attributing meaning to it that mightn't even be there. I'm seeing the worst. Yes.
No, there's not that many people. Look, yeah,
it's our N word.
I get. You know what? It kind of is, because
YouTuber is that.
Huh?
YouTuber is our N word.
Do you reckon? No, I wouldn't be offended if someone called me a YouTuber.
Not now. But when we started, he's a YouTuber. You might have seen him online, but he's pretty good at comedy too. Give a round of applause for Neel. That kind of condescension that came with the word. Maybe maybe I'm reading into it too much,
no,
but
true.
I felt it.
There was a condescension to it, yeah.
I know a group we might both now have a mutual distaste for is, I did a video and I tried anti-PC warriors, which are basically just the other side of social justice warriors, which are just people who are just, fucking peace. Everything is like too PC for them. Everything.
What about something like...
But anti-PC warriors doesn't have the ring that social justice warriors.
No, but you know what they pride themselves on? Just like telling it like it is. So something along the lines of like common sense brigade, or like
I like that.
Common sense. It's always about common sense.
Brigade. That's what makes it.
Common sense brigade.
The common sense brigade will tell you that.
Okay, so common sense brigadier.
Back in the 80s or whatever.
Yeah, dude, brigadier is like a dated word as well.
Brigadier's alright. I just like the common sense brigade as a...
Yeah, like, so if there's many of them attacking you, it's the common sense brigade.
Yeah.
If it's one, it's the common sense...
And they can't spell properly. Their grammar is always horrendous.
Common sense god. Common sense legend.
I like Common Sense Brigade.
But you need an individual one.
Yeah, true.
You need a small one.
Yeah.
See, they had it easy with Social Justice Warrior, because it just turns into Social Justice Warriors and you're done.
Yeah. Common Sense Warrior, not the same.
Common Sense King. Common Sense King.
CSK's.
CSK? Dude, like, yeah, shortening things into abbreviations is... It does work.
Common sense is actually, I think that wouldn't affect them that much, because they would like...
but that's the whole point. Yeah. That's like Social Justice Warrior. Like, it was just like, it was using their language against them.
True. So that's then if you just say it enough, then it becomes offensive eventually. Common sense. Something more patronizing than king, like not emperor, the common sense
common sense fighter,
common sense CEO, common sense common sense man.
Yeah,
common sense
like something about like bringing you back to reality. What is someone that does that?
Telling it like, yeah, the whole being honest, cutting through the bullshit,
Cutting
that sort
through
of thing.
the bullshit.
That sort of thing.
Yeah. Yous just can't handle a dose of vitamin truth.
Yeah, but then when you say like anything of their sacred beliefs, they'll completely
Fold.
flounder. Yeah. So what they are is just like a really jacked up mannequin that you could pop with a pin. So they have this appearance of strength and toughness, and I don't get offended. And then you like one little thing will burst their bubble. So if they were a balloon, common sense balloon, nah,
Common sense balloon. But dude, you know what? You could call them.
like-
You could call them.
truth balloons. That has a bit of a ring to it.
But dude, what about just balloons? And dude, filled with hot air.
Yeah, because they're all fat as well.
Okay, dude, they're balloons.
Yeah, balloons. Oh, look at this balloon. I feel like that's something
Look at
they
this
say as an
balloon.
insult. That's something a 50-year-old Aussie guy would say. Oh, look at this balloon over here.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
hot hair.
it
Hot hair,
works.
mate. Yeah.
Or maybe just
Boomer
common
balloons.
sense balloon. Dude, you know what? You could just add that to try and get some, steal some fame from,
Common
something that's
sense
already
balloon.
Yeah, common sense balloon. I do like that.
I don't mind it, yeah.
But yeah, common sense boomer. No, because it has to be common sense balloon. It's like so much information is packed into that.
Yeah.
I suppose if you can get just like some explanations about it, it might work.
I thought anti-PC warriors could become a thing for a while, but it just doesn't have the same
No,
common sense.
it does just sound like a counteraction. Oh, dude, you know what it might be?
Anti-PC balloon.
Have you ever
I
seen
like
that?
balloon. It has to be a balloon.
Balloon's great. I'm not knocking it. I'm just canvassing other options here. Have you ever seen that YouTuber Actual Justice Warrior?
No.
Well, that like,
It sounds cringe though.
I mean, that's definitely one way of putting it, and that would be a euphemism. He is like, okay, the thing about like all of those channels that are just constantly just talking about like social justice warriors going too far, political correctness is going mad. Yeah. That really like that shot you up to some level of stardom very quickly. But here's the problem. No one cares anymore. Like your views,
There's still an audience. There's
an
an
audience, but it's a kernel. Like you look at like their views from maybe 2017, 2018 or whatever, like 200,000, 300,000 a video that they pump out, and it's just some nobody just like talking to a camera, just like shitty cuts. They're doing mad, like all of them. Now you go back and look at them, it's like 50,000, 60,000, 30,000.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at Milo Yiannopoulos' views now, he's making videos, but they're getting like nothing.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't even thought
I can't
about
talk.
that,
I'm
man.
not getting many on YouTube either, but I'm killing it on TikTok.
Yeah,
so.
but that's because you've moved, like you've moved with the caravan, like it's not like Milo's doing TikToks. Well, actually, he probably is knowing him.
All right, so we got Well, there's at least
There's
topics
some
to
options.
think about. Yeah, and then so we've still got the one of people who are in the pursuit of traditional media, and think that's the world they live. You know what it's almost like? It's as though they're still trying to get into there's like a kingdom or something, and then there's a whole township around them, and then a castle, and they're just like surrounding that castle, but everyone in the town has just left, and they're still trying to like clamber up this castle. It's a weird, but
Wait, what's the guy in ancient Greek mythology that just keeps, like, is doomed to just push a boulder up a mountain? for all eternity, and as soon as it reaches the peak, it just tumbles down again, and then he has to start again.
I don't know.
Is it Prometheus? No, Prometheus stole fire, and I think he was the one that got his limb picked out. But man, maybe we should look into who that guy is. That really seems like their task. And dude, you know what else as well?
They're serfs.
It's so... Huh?
Serfs. What about something about like peasants
Why?
or serfs? Because they're living in an old... They're still...
Yeah.
They're living in history.
Feudalists.
Media serfs. Oh, media serfs, not bad.
Yeah, and you could be ordained out of serfdom and be knighted, which is really what they're looking for. They could be media serfs. Man, okay, but yeah. Look into who that Greek god was, you guys. I'm not going to do it. But, like, dude, that task, that just reminds me so much of, like, my early adult life of just being like, oh, yeah, so I got an internship at the ABC, and, oh, yeah, that well fell through, and, no, there's one at Today FM, but nope, that didn't happen either. Like, that seems to be their entire life, is just being like, I got 5 minutes on the ABC, and, oh, that didn't do shit, you know? Like, that really seems like it's this impossible task of just like constantly trying to do something that has no reward at the end and like trying really hard in it. That's the other thing as well. It's just like, dude, it like started to hit me quite early on.
Bootlickers.
Like, you're not getting results from this.
Yeah.
Bootlickers.
Serfs, peasants.
No, I like serfs more than bootlickers. Serfs because, yeah, serfs are looking for like a plot of land or
yeah, which they don't have anymore.
Which they don't have.
Can't give that away anymore.
And you know what it is? It really is like that, except for in a much lazier, much less impressive way. The internet was kind of like moving into the cities and starting up a factory while everybody else was just out on the land hoping that one day, like, the Lord would come over and give them, like, their little teeny parcel of land.
That's a good analogy. I like that. Yeah, serf is, and if someone's still like, oh, I saw this person on TV, you could say, get out of you need to, they haven't reached the age of enlightenment yet, or they're still stuck in the dark ages.
Mm-hmm. That's good, actually, dude. And then maybe just to add like another layer to it, you could call them, if you wanted to like make an abbreviation.
They still think the sun revolves around the Earth. They're
what are they called?
Heliocentric or the heliocentric model? I don't know. No, that I think is that everything revolves around the sun. I don't know, but
something like that.
Yeah.
What about just like
dark serfs?
Why are they dark serfs?
I was just thinking Dark Ages. So, but I don't think they're just serf, because that's not really a term that's used in any other context today. You would only use that when talking about middle-aged England, but surf.
I like surf. I do like surf.
Yeah, see if that can have a... All right, all the thousands of listeners, go forth.
Yeah, spread the word.
Yes.
Spread the word.
Use the word surf. See if it ever catches on.
Look, if you don't, it's not your fault. Like, this is a very ambitious project.
It is ambitious, but I want to do it.
Such few words said in this like last half of the podcast to be like,
Look, yeah, I know. So apologies to the listeners. Most of that was just us thinking out loud.
I love you guys. Dude, you know what? You really are a patient audience. I really appreciate you.
We've come up with surf and common sense bubble. That's the great truth that we've come to in this 1 hour of heated of just intense discussion.
This wasn't even
surf
clasping
and
at
common
straws.
sense bubble.
Clasping at two
Common
straws.
sense bubble.
Common sense bubble.
It's funny to me. I like that one. CSBs. All the CSBs on the internet will say, "Oh, this is communism or whatever." I don't know.
Yeah, common sense balloon. Dude, that is what it is, because it's just like this, just all this hot air puffed around. You prick it once, it's just, poosh, that's the end. An explosion of rage. Yeah, that's, dude, like, it all flows on from one another.
Yeah.
If you wanted to make an abbreviation for surf, maybe Tim Bailey wannabes, TBWs.
That's very niche. That can't spread to America. What else are they? They're very robotic. They're clones as well. They are.
Oh, you know what else as well, dude? How
Stormtroopers.
much is everyone who works in legacy media into coffee?
You know how they perceive themselves as the guardians of true journalism. That's how they perceive themselves. So something about in the same way that Social Justice Warrior has that highly sarcastic tone to it. If we could involve the word guardian somehow,
dude. Fourth Estate surfs.
Media guardians. Yeah.
Truth
guard. These are. Well, they think that they're the guardians of truth.
Well, dude, no. You know what they actually call themselves in journalism courses? It's just unbelievably self-serving. Guardians of democracy. That is what they are taught that they are.
Okay.
So that's not like you could just lift that out by itself, because it just sounds ridiculous. That's just being said.
So pompous.
So pompous.
I'm the guardian of democracy. I'm guarded against anything. Guardian angels.
Guardian angels, yep. That's not bad.
And they're also the bootlickers. They're really self-serving. They want to climb the ladder.
I'm always thinking, when I think of journalists, I'm always thinking of them being weasels or ferrets.
Guardian weasels.
Guardian weasels.
I don't mind that. That
GWs.
kind of makes me fun. That makes me laugh. The idea of that, like a little. So that's what they are. They're this tiny little weasel acting as though they're
that's
strong guard of a castle.
Yeah, and that is like, and also, like you would train a weasel or a ferret, going out and hunting, small little fry, like maybe like a field shrew, or like a tiny little shoalfish or something like that. And that is what they do.
Guardian weasels. I'm just trying to think if there was a war of words on Facebook or Twitter or whatever, and look, all the Guardian weasels are going to tell me that I'm wrong. Yeah, that's funny. All the Guardian weasels are going to tell me that I'm an incel, but let me tell you the truth. All right, I'm back in that. I'm back in Guardian Weasel. And
what about shortening to Guard? Guard Weasel.
Guardian is so pompous, though.
It's pompous. Okay, all right.
Guard
so
is
like
good, though, as well.
Of
Guard Weasel. Weasel Guard. Weasel Guard. Yeah, but that's such a... Yeah,
democracy weasels. That is what they are as well. They are fucking democracy weasels.
This is just strictly
in and out of it.
This is strictly for journalists, though. It would be good if there was a term for that encompassed, even just even actors, comedians, anyone who's still lords. And look, I say that. Look, if a huge deal came my way, I'll probably take it. Let's be honest, but.
No, but the thing is, you're not actively seeking it.
Yes, that's.
It was like the same thing with the Channel 10 thing. I was kind of just like, yeah, good collab, but I'm not.
It's worth it.
I'm not going to them being like, guys, have I got an idea for you?
Yeah.
I work at a Hungry Jack's. you know.
So look, I have a good TV pilot, but all the Guardian weasels are going to say it's not woke enough.
Some
If
shit
that's
like
the
that.
discourse in 1 year.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, it's still journalists though. It needs to be what's like some animals that like will eat
But
like a carcass of a whale.
A whale, vultures? Vulture.
No. It has to be something under like things that just like feed
Marine
off
animal.
the bottom, like a marine animal that feeds off the bottom.
I don't know. Trout.
Crabs. TV crabs.
TV crabs. That's not bad.
Yeah, picking at the bones.
Yeah, wow. Yes.
And dude, that is like I always thought that
carcass
was
of
like a
legacy
very
media.
desperate image, just like crabs. You know how like their mouth
Media
moves like
crabs.
really fast? Media crab.
Media crabs. That's a good one.
Dude, I like media crabs.
Media crabs. Yeah. And that just encompasses anyone who's still trying to pick at that carcass.
Yeah.
I've got an
weasels
idea.
for
I've got an
journalists.
idea.
Yeah.
I know there's only flesh left on one of the flippers, but let me take some of that.
Yeah, so true. And also just like doing that display to like back the other ones away. Just be like, like anytime anyone comes close.
Media crabs. MCs, yeah. All right, we've got a few options there. I think we're...
See if any of those
we
stick
can
with
probably
you
just
guys.
mull over that for another few hours and eventually everyone will stop listening. So we appreciate you listening to what was mostly us just thinking in...
verbal catch.
Yes, quietly thinking. So appreciate you actually listening to that. True fans.
And also, yeah, you are a true fan. I can't
True
believe
fans,
you did.
guys.
Thank you very much for doing that.
We'll see.
And also, if you can, give us your suggestions.
Yeah,
I'd be
of course.
Very interested in hearing.
Of course, this
because they will. There'll be some.
There'll be some
smart
good
little
ones there.
bastards in there. That will just
Yeah.
trounce that.
and any
Which
other
is pathetic because we sat here for an hour.
true, but any other group that we want to because even just Boomer that's just so effective. So if there's any other group that we currently can see gaining too much unearned confidence in their ideology, or you can foresee that happening for a particular group, let's get ahead of the 8 ball and come up with some good terms.
Yes, starting the zeitgeist and for God's sake, shaping it instead of following it.
Yes, for future Reddit discussions. Let's do it. Let's do it, guys. All right. Thanks for listening.
Thanks, gang. I actually do really appreciate you listening to that one. Thank you.
See you next time.